You're probably using ChatGPT like everyone else, typing questions and getting answers.
But here's the thing. You're barely scratching the surface. I spent weeks testing every single new tool ChatGPT rolled out, from image generation to autonomous research agents, and what I discovered. Most people are leaving the most powerful features completely untouched. Trust me, I made that mistake too, until I realized these tools could literally 10x my productivity.
Welcome back to bitbiased.ai, where we do the research so you don't have to. Join our community of AI enthusiasts with our free weekly newsletter. Click the link in the description below to subscribe. You will get the key AI news, tools, and learning resources to stay ahead.
So in this video, I'm walking you through ChatGPT's complete toolkit, every feature, every tool, and exactly how to use them like a pro. We're talking image uploads, AI-generated visuals, deep research agents, shopping assistants, and way more. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which tools to use for what, and you'll be getting results most people don't even know are possible. Let's start with something simple but game-changing: uploading photos and files. Add photos and files. Here's where things get interesting. ChatGPT doesn't just read text anymore, it can see. You can now upload images, PDFs, basically any file you've got, and have an actual conversation about it. Just click that little plus icon in the chat box, or honestly, just drag and drop your file right in. It's that simple. But wait until you see what it actually does with those files. Say you snap a photo of a receipt after lunch. Upload it, ask, "What's the total?" And boom, instant answer. Or let's say you've got a 20-page PDF report sitting in your downloads folder that you've been dreading to read. Upload it and ask ChatGPT to summarize the key points. Suddenly, that hour-long reading session becomes a 2-minute conversation. The real magic happens when you get creative with it. Upload a chart from a presentation and ask it to explain the trends. Drop in a screenshot of buggy code and let it debug for you. I've even uploaded photos of plants with yellowing leaves and asked for diagnosis. It works better than you'd think. Now here's a pro tip that most people miss. Before you upload an image, if you're asking about something specific, crop it or highlight that area first. ChatGPT's attention works like yours. The clearer you make what you want it to focus on, the better the response. Also, stick to high-res, clear images. It can handle PNGs, JPEGs, even GIFs up to 20 megabytes, but quality matters. Create image. Speaking of images, let's talk about generation. ChatGPT can now create images from scratch, and I'm not talking about simple sketches. I mean photorealistic renders, artistic watercolors, whatever you can describe. Go to Tools, hit Create Image, make sure you're on a GPT-5 model for the best quality, and then just describe what you want. For example, try something like, create a photorealistic image of a red fox on a snowy hill at sunrise. Within seconds, you've got your image. But here's where it gets even better. You can edit parts of it without starting over. Click on the image, use the Select tool to highlight an area and describe what you want changed. Make the sky more vibrant, or add a red kite in the corner. It's like having a professional designer who never gets tired of your revisions. The key to great results? Be absurdly detailed in your prompts. Don't just say, a city. Say, a futuristic city at sunset in watercolor style with pastel tones and wide-angle composition. Specify the art style, the lighting, the mood, even text placement if you want words in the image. And here's something cool. ChatGPT auto-saves everything you create in a library, so you can organize collections or export high-res versions later. GPT-5 Thinking Mode. Now, this next feature is for when you need ChatGPT to really think. GPT 5.2 has something called Thinking Mode, and when you activate it, the AI essentially goes into deep focus mode before answering. Instead of spitting out a quick response, it takes extra time to reason through complex problems. When do you use this? Anytime you're dealing with something that requires multiple steps, financial modeling, advanced coding, detailed analysis, that kind of thing. Switch to GPT 5.2, thinking mode, or just tap the think button if it pops up. You'll notice the response takes longer, but what you get back is expert-level quality. I've used this for debugging large code bases, and it catches errors that would have taken me hours to find. It can even generate formatted spreadsheets and slides with way more accuracy than the standard mode. The catch? It's slower, and it should be. It's literally processing more deeply. But when you need that extra layer of intelligence, especially for technical work, it's absolutely worth the wait. Here's the power move. When you're in thinking mode, give it extremely clear instructions and let it work. It has a massive context window. We're talking over 256,000 tokens, so it can handle huge documents and multi-step logic that would overwhelm other models. Patience pays off here. Deep research. All right, this tool is honestly mind-blowing. Imagine having a professional research analyst at your disposal who works autonomously and never complains. That's deep research. You give it a complex question. Something like, analyze the pros and cons of electric versus hydrogen cars for daily commuting. And then you literally just sit back. ChatGPT will browse the web, open hundreds of sources, take notes, synthesize information, and compile everything into a thorough report with citations. This can take anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes, depending on how complex your query is. During that time, you can't chat with it. It's fully focused on your research, but you'll see a sidebar showing its progress and the sources it's checking. When it's done, you get a research-level report that would have taken you hours, maybe days, to compile manually. And it's all cited properly, so you can verify sources if you want. This is perfect for comparative analyses, detailed reports, niche topics, basically anything where you need depth instead of just surface-level answers. Here's what you need to know to use it right. Be specific with your initial query. The more detail you give, the better the results. You can even attach relevant files or spreadsheets for added context. And since deep research is limited, think about 25 uses per month on a Plus plan. Save it for when you genuinely need comprehensive answers, not simple fact checks. Shopping research. Let me ask you something. How much time have you wasted scrolling through product reviews, opening tab after tab, trying to figure out which vacuum or laptop or headphones to buy? Yeah, me too. Shopping research fixes that. It works like this. You ask a shopping question. Something like, what's the best quiet vacuum cleaner for a small apartment? ChatGPT will suggest using shopping research, and when you activate it, a special interface opens up. First, it asks you to describe your needs, your budget, specific requirements, preferences, whatever matters to you. Then it goes to work. Behind the scenes, it's browsing the web, checking current prices, reading specs, combing through reviews from trusted sites. It shows you products one by one, and here's the cool part. You can give feedback in real time. Mark something as not interested or more like this, and it adjusts the search based on your responses. In just a few minutes, you get a personalized buyer's guide with the top picks, key differences between them, trade-offs to consider, and direct links to where you can buy. It's like having a shopping consultant who actually knows what you want. Pro tip: use this for any major purchase. Tech, appliances, furniture, whatever. The more detailed you are about your preferences, the better the AI tailors the results. And always double-check prices on the actual merchant sites since it pulls from publicly available data that might be slightly outdated. Also, if you've got ChatGPT memory turned on, your past preferences, like I like hiking, will automatically influence future recommendations. Study and learn now. If you're trying to actually learn something new, this is where ChatGPT becomes a full-on tutor. Study mode doesn't just hand you answers. It guides you through topics step by step, making sure you actually understand what you're learning. But here's what makes it different. It uses Socratic questioning. Instead of just explaining, it asks you questions to guide your thinking. It gives hints when you're stuck. And throughout the lesson, it pops up knowledge checks, quick quizzes with instant feedback on your answers. You're actively engaged the whole time, not just passively reading. For instance, ask it to explain the Pythagorean theorem in simple terms. It'll break it down, maybe ask you what a right triangle is to make sure you've got the basics, confirm your understanding, and then move forward. It adapts based on how you respond, speeding up if you're getting it, slowing down if you're struggling. The secret to making this work? Be honest about your level. If you already know something, tell it to move on. If you need more explanation, say so. And when you miss a quiz question, don't just skip past it. ChatGPT will explain exactly what you got wrong and why, which is where the real learning happens. Quizzes tightly connected to study mode is the quiz feature, and this is huge for anyone trying to actually retain information. ChatGPT can generate practice quizzes on virtually any topic you can think of. You'll either see a quizzes tool pop up, or you can simply ask, "Create a quiz on photosynthesis," and it'll deliver. The quizzes come with explanations for each answer, which is perfect for reinforcement. You're not just testing yourself, you're learning from your mistakes in real time. If you're in study mode, these knowledge checks happen automatically. But you can also trigger them outside of that context whenever you want a quick test. Here's how I use it. After learning a concept, I ask for 5 quiz questions on that topic. I answer them, see what I miss, and then ask ChatGPT to reteach those specific points. It's like having flashcards that explain themselves. Power move. Specify the difficulty and format. Give me advanced level multiple choice questions on World War II, gets you exactly what you need. And treat your incorrect answers as a roadmap. They show you exactly what to review next. Websearch. Let's talk about staying current. ChatGPT's training data has a cutoff date, but with Websearch, that limitation basically disappears. When you ask about current events, stock prices, sports scores, anything that's happening right now, ChatGPT can search the internet and pull in real-time information. Sometimes it'll do this automatically when it detects you need fresh data. Other times, you can click the search icon to force a lookup. Either way, you're getting up-to-date answers with actual source citations. Try asking, "What's the weather in London today?" Or, "Who won the Oscar for Best Picture last night?" ChatGPT searches, finds the answer, and gives you links to verify. This is clutch for anything time-sensitive or super niche. The answers include sources. Just click to see where the information came from, so you can fact-check if you want. Use this strategically. Any question where recency matters, any obscure fact that might not be in the training data, anything you want to double-check, hit that search button. It's like giving ChatGPT access to the entire internet in real time. Canvas, writing and code editor. This is where ChatGPT transforms from a chatbot into a full collaboration partner. Canvas is an editing interface that activates automatically when it detects you're working on a writing or coding project. You can also trigger it manually by typing "Use Canvas" or clicking the Canvas icon. Once you're in Canvas mode, you see your text or code on one side and ChatGPT suggestions inline, kind of like Google Docs with tracked changes. But it's way more powerful than that. For writing projects, you can highlight any section and ask ChatGPT to refine it. There are shortcut buttons, adjust length, change reading level, add final polish, even add emojis if you want. It edits the content right there in the document, and you can see exactly what changed. For coding, this is where it gets really useful. You can ask it to review code, add comments for clarity, insert logging for debugging, or fix bugs. It does all of this in place, so you're not copy-pasting back and forth. I've used this to convert Python code to JavaScript just by asking, and it does it seamlessly. Here's the workflow. Start a draft, rough is fine, and trigger Canvas. Then use those shortcuts or give manual instructions like "make this more engaging" or "simplify this paragraph." For code, try fix bugs or port to a different language. You can revert to previous versions with a back button, so there's no risk in experimenting. The real power? You're in control of the document. You can edit directly, and ChatGPT adapts to your changes. It's genuinely like having a personal editor who never gets tired. Your year with ChatGPT. At the end of the year, ChatGPT does something fun. It gives you a personalized recap of your usage, kind of like Spotify Wrapped for your chats. If you've had memory and chat history turned on throughout the year, you'll find an option on the home screen to see this review. It shows you stats like your most used topics, favorite times to chat, other fun highlights of your activity over the year. It's optional and privacy-friendly. You can skip it if you want, but it's a neat way to reflect on how you've been using the tool. To make sure you get a good summary, keep memory enabled and don't delete too many chats. You can even share your year wrap with friends if you want to show off your AI habits. Though remember, it's based on your private conversations. Explore apps, GPTs. Last but definitely not least, explore apps. Think of this as the App Store inside ChatGPT. It's where you find custom GPTs and integrations built by OpenAI and the community. Specialized assistants for specific tasks. Want a math tutor? There's a GPT for that. Travel planning, recipe generation, coding help, all there. Some apps even connect to external services, like sending emails, searching Airbnb, or reading files from Google Drive. Here's how to use it. Click Explore Apps or GPT Store in the ChatGPT menu. Browse categories or search for keywords. When you find one you like, open it, and it acts like its own customized chat designed for that specific purpose. For example, the Zillow app lets you search real estate listings without ever leaving ChatGPT. Power tip. These apps often have interactive elements, buttons, sliders, special interfaces. Try combining them. Pull data with a data analysis GPT, then jump to a visualization app. And ChatGPT is smart enough to suggest apps contextually. Planning a trip? It might suggest opening the Expedia app without you even asking. Before we close this out, here's what separates casual users from power users. Combining features. You're not limited to one tool at a time. Use deep research while uploading files for context. Generate images on the fly inside Canvas. Stack these tools to create workflows that most people don't even realize are possible. Remember the plus menu. That's your gateway to everything. On mobile, look for the Tools drop-down above your keyboard, and model choice matters. For heavy lifting, long writing, complex code, detailed charts, switch to GPT 5.2 Thinking or Pro mode. For quick stuff, GPT 4.0 Instant is perfectly fine and way faster. One more thing, all these tools respect your privacy settings. By default, ChatGPT doesn't train on your data. Check your settings if you're ever unsure. And these features are constantly improving, so if something doesn't work perfectly, try rephrasing or send feedback to OpenAI. They're actively updating everything. So there you have it, ChatGPT's complete toolkit, from image uploads to autonomous research agents. Whether you're crunching data, learning something new, shopping for the perfect product, or just having fun with AI-generated art, these features unlock a completely different level of what's possible. Try each one in a real scenario. Don't just read about them, actually use them, and you'll see exactly what I mean. If this helped, drop a comment letting me know which tool you're most excited to try. And if you've got questions or your own tips, share them below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.